Hello beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Reverend Debbie here, hope you're all doing well. The 2nd of Octoberween, yay. So today I thought I'd talk about a book that I found really helpful. It's a little book by the publishers Llewellyn called Samhain. Let's bring that closer so you can have a look. You see all the pages that I've marked there. I do not work for Llewellyn. I do not I'm not being paid by them. This is purely a little review on the book that may help you in your future endeavours as a witch, and especially around Samhain. So this book contains various information it's a very brief sort of look at Samhain and at the traditions around Samhain. It talks about the old ways that Samhain was practiced. Now, Samhain is a Celtic word, we believe Irish. I stand to be corrected on that. And at this time of year, the god is dying. He's going down into the underworld. And the goddess actually goes to rescue him, but the goddess never disappears from the earth. She is always present. That's why paganism and witchcraft is such a feminine-centered belief system, because the god changes. He's born, he grows, he dies, he goes into the underworld, and he's reborn. And these are, we can see this in nature. Take a tree, for example. In autumn, the leaves start to fall off. They turn brown, they fall off. What's happening is the tree is taking its sap back into itself and bringing it down into the center of its being, ready for when the weather warms up and it starts to send that sap back, and the sap rises into the tree. So the tree looks dead, but it's not. Just the same way that the god appears to be dead, but he's not. He is still there. His role is just very much underground. And we can see this in the underworld stories of the different pantheons, such as Persephone and Demeter, Inanna and Dumuzi, and of course Morrigan and Dagda. So it tells you a little bit about the history of the old ways of Samhain, and it also looks to the new ways of Samhain and how we celebrate Samhain now. I'm just going to read you a little bit from the book. The reassertion of Samhain. In truth, Samhain changed costumes more than it disappeared. By 1980, as the pagan movement in North America and the Wiccan and traditional movement in the United Kingdom grew, more people began practicing serious and solemn celebrations on October the 31st, or on the full moon closest to October the 31st. Me, I celebrate both. Why not? Any excuse for a celebration with food and drink is good for me. Many in the United Kingdom never really stopped practicing the old Samhain traditions. And this has been embedded into our communities, and it was exported over to America. Now, the jack-o'-lanterns, there is a little story here about jack-o'-lanterns, which I love, which I'm going to read for you. But jack-o'-lanterns here in the United Kingdom, and I remember this as a kid, carving a turnip. And don't think of Therese Coffey. Carving a turnip. It is so difficult to carve a turnip, taking the inside out and making the eyes and the holes so that the light shines through. It's not as easy as a pumpkin, believe me. So I believe that when people migrated to America, they used pumpkins because it was easier to carve. You know, why not? So for those who went out into the night, they carried carved turnips on strings with a glowing piece of coal inside. These lanterns, called jack-o'-lanterns, came to refer to a Christian legend about a blacksmith named Old Jack, a man so evil that both heaven and hell refused him. With nowhere to go but purgatory, he had to roam the roads on Halloween night with nothing but a turnip lamp to light his way. Now, the other part of lights in Samhain we can use to draw our ancestors towards us. This time of year, 31st of October, is the time of year when the veils between the two worlds are at their thinnest, and it is easier for us to communicate with those souls that have crossed over. Unfortunately, I am away over the Samhain weekend because I'm performing a ritual at an event and celebrating there the whole weekend. It's in the middle of a forest where there is no signal, so my videos will only be appearing later. But I probably will try and fit in a little bit of a ritual so that you can see what to do and how you can base your ritual. Now, you can practice your ritual however you like. That is the beauty of paganism. You don't need a book to tell you what to do. Follow your heart. That's the main thing that I would suggest to you to do, is to follow your heart when celebrating any of the pagan festivals and full moon. So we use candles to light the way for our ancestors, and something that I like to do when I'm at home celebrating on my own at this time of year is to have what we call a dom supper. So laying the table for your friends and then placing one place that will be empty of a person. And on that place you place, on that setting you place a plate of food, but also you light candles for those who have crossed over. I also put photographs of those that have passed over, my grandfather, my father, my cats, any pets, anybody who you wish to honour that night is a way of honouring our ancestors, because if our ancestors hadn't existed, we would not exist. It then goes on to paganism or Samhain in the modern times, and how we practice now. And of course, there's a lot of different ways we can practice. Apple dunking, wassailing the trees, trick-or-treating, and so on. However you celebrate is up to you. And the whole point of dressing up as witches or evil characters is to ward off the evil spirits that may be out there. So you're calling on your ancestors, but don't forget that we also get bad ancestors coming through, ancestors that maybe we don't want to deal with. So by dressing up, by wearing the makeup, the aim is to scare those people or those ancestors, those spirits that may want to come through to us. There's a lot of mythology that falls around Samhain that is perhaps not necessarily part of Samhain. So this book actually does tell you here that it was once related to the goddess Pomona. It was known as Pomona's Day. But when we've looked into it, well, not me, but when scholars have looked into it, Pomona's Day actually falls in August, on the 23rd of August. So that's the same time as the autumn equinox, which we've just celebrated. So all of these rites and laws and differences of opinions can be read in this book. Now, this book is just a small book. If you want to study about Samhain in depth, there are plenty of books out there that you can read. I've only just pulled this one up today because for anybody who's starting out, this is a great place to start. It also has a section on spells and divination, which I think is wonderful. So you can go and take spells out of here and some divination techniques out of here and use them in your own ritual. It also has recipes and crafts that you can practice on those days. It also has prayers and invocations for the goddesses and gods. And I'm actually going to read one that I love here, a prayer to the Morrigan. All hail the Phantom Queen, bathing, feet spread to each side of the river Unis. We salute your lusty nature, warrior of warriors. Take pleasure in your tryst with Dagda. As life and death come together, may we take heed when we see your raven, marking death and the end of the year. May we take heed when we see your wolf. The wolf may not harm us, but we know to fear. May we take heed when we see your eel, making a need to retreat. May we take heed when the red heifer stampedes. When this happens, we know we have lost. We pray for your favour. We give you the milk of healing. the honey of joy. We ask your wisdom, that you reveal to us the spells of your victories, that your power travel in our tongues, and that we may draw the peace of the skies down to the earth, and our battles be won by the hand of your magic. What a beautiful prayer. And there are many more prayers in here as well, for the Morrigan, for Persephone, for the Dagda, for various other goddesses and gods who are relevant to this time of year. There is also a section on rituals and celebrations that you can do, which is somewhere else that you might want to take inspiration from. And lastly in the book is a section on correspondences for Samhain. That is what colour candles to use, what crystals to use, and so on. Now, I am going to be doing my own sort of version of this over the coming days throughout the month of Octoberween. And I'm hoping that these rituals and lessons that I have learned over my 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, nearly 30 years of pagan practice can help you and impart on you. There is no right and wrong within paganism. It doesn't exist. It's not like Christianity where that's right, that's wrong. It doesn't work like that. In paganism, we are right or wrong, however we choose to be. If you've got any questions or a subject or topic that you'd like me to cover in the coming days, please pop it in the comments below. I do have a very long list of things that I'm going to be discussing with you, as well as looking at divination techniques. I am a tarot reader. I read crystal ball. I also read the crystals. I am a Reiki healer, and I am a yoga instructor as well. So all of those sort of I bring them into my witchcraft practice and utilize them along with traditional witchcraft. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. I hope to see you next time. Blessed be.